Siddhi Idnani, and I think I am coming back in front of all of you all. I think about after 2.5 years. So it's a very happy day. It's a very good feeling to be back in front of all of you all with our film, The Life of Muthu. And it's releasing today, so I'll just like to say that please go and watch it in the theaters. I think a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and love has gone into making this film. So please watch and enjoy. That's it.
I think I'm here primarily because I got a call from Ravi Kishore sir saying, I like the trailer, I like the songs, let's do the Telugu version. Otherwise, honestly, this wouldn't have been possible. And the film also is set, the original version is set in like an interior village in Tamil Nadu. And it's a journey of this boy Muthu who travels from there and works in Bombay in and amidst a very Tamil setting sort of a thing. So we were a little worried about how to sort of make it work for the Telugu version, but a lot of discussion went into it, and we got the film dubbed. It was set in a space in Andhra, and we managed to get the dialect right and all that. But then we were not sure if we should do a big release. But then when Sir called me, and he said, "I love the trailer, I love the songs. Let's do this Telugu version immediately." Things started falling in place, and today he took a call not to release it on the same day. He said we'll release it 1 day or 2 days later. So that was always a call that was taken, and I'm very happy for so your support and guidance seriously. And we've had lots of conversations before about films. We're also going to do a film with Ram, together very soon. So. The whole team would like to thank Sir for his guidance and support and the way he went about putting this together. And I'm not just saying that because he's here. The film itself is a very special film for me. I wanted to narrate certain stories from my life and from the life around me for about 10, 12 years. And then I wanted to move into completely different zones. And this is the first move away from what I don't want to say usually make, but this is the first move away from that. And I love the whole experience. I studied the story that was given to me by this very prolific writer called Mohan, sir, and he narrated an idea to me, a short story, and from that we made this film. There was a lot of discussion, there was a lot of studying, there was a lot of understanding these characters, places, interiors of certain places down south, and then Bombay itself, and this whole. So it's not a gangster film per se. It's an emotional saga, if you ask me. It's like a journey, and that there's no end to that journey with this particular film. So when we discuss the story, we realize this has to be narrated over maybe 2 parts, and so this is the first part. And obviously, if the support is overwhelming, then we will get into the second part. And I was very happy to have collaborated with a few people on this film. A.R. Rahman, sir, for example, who I was all set to make a love story with him, and then I just changed it around and told him, sir, this is what I want to do next. And he said, yes, let's work on the songs for this. And his music and the background score drives the film completely. It just stays a line above the scenes and sort of drives the entire film. Simbu, without whom saying yes, this film wouldn't have been possible. Because like I said, we were all set to make a love story. We were casting for the heroine. Songs were composed. And then suddenly I went to him and said, this is what I want to do and not that film. He understood he had to play a 19-year-old. And then there's a lot of transformation in the film in terms of look and everything. And he said, yes, I'll do this for you. Jay Mohan sir told me this film is meant to be done with a non-star. It should be done with a new hero. We should launch a young boy with this film. I said, I will launch a young Simbu again, sort of, with this film, and he's capable of that. So there was no looking back from then on. A great set of technicians, Rajivan, who I always work with, did the production design. And everything looks very real and authentic in the film, I think. Uttara did the costumes, and Anthony, my editor, who's edited for me for over 20 years, put this film together for me. And while we went about looking for the heroines, I think we looked at about, for the first time, about 5 or 6 girls, and something was not working out. And one day somebody said, there's this girl called Siddhi. We called her down. I looked at her and I said, get into the costumes, and we started shooting. There was no look test or anything like that. And then at the end of the day, she said, "Sir, am I in the film?" I said, "Yeah, we've started shooting tomorrow. 9 o'clock, just keep coming in. That's all." So that's how certain things fall in place, and I'm very happy. I think she's done a few films, yes, but it was so easy to work with her. She didn't know the language initially easily, but all the lines and the way she understood the character, and not to be intimidated by a star like Simbu. So everything fell in place with Siddhi, and I'm really happy that we managed to work together on this film. And he is looking forward to a lot more, Siddhi. So the film has come out well. Siddhartha, the cinematographer, understood what I wanted to do, and he put those visuals together in a way that I also was captivated by every time I saw the frame. We wanted to make a real, raw, gritty sort of a film, and I think that's what we made. And I'm very happy we are here today with The Life of Muthu. I really hope you like it and you'll watch it in the theaters.
స్రవంతి బ్యానర్ నుంచి డబ్బింగ్ ఫిలిమ్స్ చేయటం అనేది చాలా అరుదు మేము అసోసియేట్ అవటం అన్లెస్ ఐఎమ్ వెరీ కాన్ఫిడెంట్ అండ్ ఐ ఫీల్ దట్ ఇట్ బిలాంగ్స్ టు ద కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఫిల్మ్స్ విచ్ వీ మేక్. ఆ విధంగానే రెండు తోకలు పెట్టా, నాయకుడు ఆ రోజులో చేసాం. రీసెంట్గా రఘువరన్ చేసాం. దాని తర్వాత ఏ ఫిల్మ్ కూడా అసోసియేట్ కాలేదు. బట్ గౌతమ్ మేనన్ గారితో ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు, ఆయనతో మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు when I saw the trailer, I was just telling him, I think it will certainly work in Telugu. Why not it be brought to Telugu? And the music was amazing. సో ఆ ప్రాసెస్లో ఏ టైటిల్ అయితే బాగుంటుంది, ఐ నెవర్ థాట్ దట్ ఐ వుడ్ బి బ్రింగింగ్ ఇట్ టు ది తెలుగు ఆడియన్స్, బట్ టుడే ఐ ఫీల్ ఆర్ ఐఎమ్ రియలీ ప్రౌడ్ టు బ్రింగ్ దట్ ఫిల్మ్ ఇన్ తెలుగు. ఐ వాచ్ తమిళ్ వెర్షన్ చూశాను నేను 2 days బ్యాక్ థియేటర్లో. చూడబోయే ప్రేక్షకులు నేను ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చేద్దామని కాదు, కానీ నాకు చాలా బాగా నచ్చింది. మీరందరూ కూడా అట్లాగే అప్రిషియేట్ చేస్తారని నేను నమ్ముతున్నాను. జస్ట్ ఇట్స్ ఆల్ యువర్ ఒపీనియన్స్ అండ్ ఐ ఫెల్ట్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ వాచింగ్ ది మూవీ, especially last 40 minutes. It was so gripping. I was just at the edge of the seat, and it's an honor to be associated with Gautham sir, and certainly looking forward to do a project with him very soon. And so Telugu audience would certainly love this kind of film, sir. All the best, sir. I know ఇక్కడికి తీసుకురావడానికి ఏదో జరుగుతుంది కానీ వర్క్ వాట్ ఐ థాట్ వాజ్ ఇట్ విల్ రియల్లీ వర్క్ హియర్. So in our interactive sessions, I was just telling him that please bring it over to Telugu. That would certainly work. సరే, ఎవరు నాకు కథ చెప్పినప్పుడు బాగుంది అనే కదా సినిమా తీస్తాను నిర్మాతలకు మేము. అట్లాగే విజువల్ ఇది చూసినప్పుడు ఇది ఆడుతుంది అని నమ్మకం. ఇట్స్ అ ఫీలింగ్ యూ హ్యావ్. సో దెర్ ఆర్ నో క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్, దెర్ ఆర్ నో మ్యాథమెటిక్స్, రైట్?
సార్, గౌతమ్ గారు మీ గురించి చాలా చెప్పారు ఇంతకుముందు ఇంటర్వ్యూలో. ప్రీవియస్లీ కూడా ఇంతకుముందు డిస్కషన్స్ జరిగినాయి అని చెప్పి, మీరు చాలామంది డైరెక్టర్స్తో వర్క్ చేశారు అని ప్రీవియస్ త్రివిక్రమ్ గారు వెళ్ళాలి. గౌతమ్ గారిలో మీకు నచ్చిందండి సపరేట్గా మేకింగ్ స్టైల్ వైజ్?
See, I've seen most of his films. I like them all, and see, it matches to the kind of films, that kind of thoughts I have. So I think our travel will be very nice, and we'll be making a film to the taste of all the audience.
This is the big film for you and in your career. Learning experience with the Life of Muthu.
Thank you, first of all. I think Jamba Lakdi Bamba had happened when I was a 20-year-old girl. And I came from Bombay. I didn't know much about the South Indian industry. It's only after I came into the Telugu film industry, I realized how much I enjoy working here and how much passion and dedication the people in the South industry put in their craft. So it's only after a certain amount of films that I started understanding what works, what doesn't work. It takes certain bit of failure to understand success. And I'm so glad that my journey has been with so much of ups and downs. And finally, when I'm sitting here today next to him, next to Mr. Gautham Vasudev Menon, thank you, sir, Shravanti Movies. So it definitely, there is a sense of validation. It feels good. It feels good to have gotten the opportunity, which I have. And I am very grateful. And here onwards, it's just going to be onwards and upwards. And it's just going to be good films, good cinema, good scripts, good directors. And yeah.
What's going in first day shoot?
What was going on the first day of the shoot? Oh my God, I can't express it in words very honestly, because I have watched Gautham sir's films Ye Maya Chesave was also made in Hindi, and I think that's from that time I know of Sir. I've watched his interviews. As an aspiring actor, I always went back and kept watching his interviews because he spoke with so much intelligence about the craft of filmmaking. So it is not just me, every actor's dream, whether an aspiring actor or an established actor, everybody has Gautham Vasudev Menon on their dream director list. So when that happened, I was overwhelmed. I mean, up until today, I have to pinch myself to just believe that I am the heroine of his film. Actually, a very small incident I'd like to share. The film's poster had come out. That time the name was something else, and I had taken a screenshot. The name, the poster read GVM, STR, and ARR, and I'd taken a screenshot and I told my manager, I said, it would be nice if I get to be a part of this film. And that time he told me that right now you're new, maybe they might look out for an established actor. I said, no, I think this is for me. I don't know why I had some conviction in my heart. And when I got a call from him, he didn't tell me. He just told me that Nalaki Oru audition Madri we have, so you have to come to Chennai. And I just asked him, is it for Gautham Vasudev Menon's film? And he's like, how the hell do you know? So it just started off from there. And when I came in the morning, we had like a small audition kind of a thing. And in the evening, I was doing a scene in front of Simbu sir. So it took me about 2 to 3 days just to digest the fact that I am his heroine. In fact, I called him also the next day. I said, sir, I am the heroine, right? So yeah, I'm just eternally grateful and very, very happy to have gotten this opportunity. And I just hope and pray that I've done justice to it. I think Simbu sir is a spectacular actor, and I was always an admirer. I was a Simbu admirer before, but I think after watching this film, I have definitely become a fan because he has performed and he literally has breathed such beautiful life into Muthu's character. When you see the film, I don't think you will see Simbu the hero, Simbu the star. No, you will see Muthu, a boy who's come from a village who's trying to make a life for himself. And I think that's what the definition of a good actor is, that he makes you forget what a star he is. And that's what he's done. He's performed so well. His body language, I think overall, he's carried the film on his shoulders. So definitely a lot to learn from him too.
Sir, Gautam sir. There are more films, there are huge number of films from in different genres we have taken, delivered from you. What,
So it's completely different from whatever I've made earlier. I mean, I've read reviews. I don't read generally reviews, but the criticism that comes is, in my films, there are good-looking people, yes, always. They're all well-dressed in expensive cotton clothes. And then, there are voiceovers with English lines in them. And then there are bikes, romantic bike rides. There are guitars. There are people who travel, to the US at the drop of a hat. And so this is all Gautham Menon makes, which is what I've read. So all that is not there in this film. So it's a very different film, that's all. Yeah.
what inspired you, sir, for this?
So I was all set to make a love story with Simbu. I narrated the story. Rahman sir, we composed and recorded 3 songs. And we were looking for a heroine for that subject. And I happened to meet Mr. Jaimon for another film, actually for Sir's film. We were discussing for a film with Ram. And in that discussion, Jaimon sir narrated a short story to me that he had written, 15 minutes of a short story of a book sort of a thing. And I said, okay, so what next? So he said, I left it to the imagination of the reader. I always like to do that, he said. So I said, this is my film. If you can take this into a zone that I want, a very low-lying sort of gangster film, then I'll do this, I said. So then he said, I know somebody who used to work in these parota kades in Bombay, and they're part of like a coolie pade sort of a thing, they're used for small-time criminal activities sort of a thing, and how they couldn't get out of that. So I said, that's something I'd like to explore. So then he wrote about 100 pages of like a book with scenes and just dialogues and character names. And so then I loved it that I decided I just visualize it. When he narrated the story to me, in spite of sending it to me, I had certain visuals in my head. Like there were a lot of transformation moments. I decided while I was listening that these should be all single shot sequences, like, you know, staged without any cuts. You know, the camera should capture these emotions in real time, sort of a thing. So all those visuals were in my head as he was talking to me, and that was the inspiration. Just what I heard, and wanting to get into a sort of a newer kind of a film in my filmography, so to speak. Yeah. Not necessarily. So comfort zone, right? So you don't have to convince him too much. Actors, with all due respect to heroes, they have to work. You have to work scripts around their whims and fancies, so to speak. So we are all writing for heroes. We're not writing for ourselves or for the film industry per se. A hero will want a script to work around himself. You know, there should be an introduction moment, and there should be this moment. And I think everything boils down to how much more money they can make over the next film, with all due respect to them, which is fine also. You know, I'm also looking to make that money finally at some point. But with Simbu, it's not like that. He understands very easily what I'm trying to do. So I'm honestly telling you, from a very different kind of a love story, but still with, you know, the expensive cotton shirts and bike rides and romance and all that. He moved to this over 2.5 hours and said, let's do this. We'll keep that. We'll do that later. We'll do this now. There was no convincing. And here I was stripping him of his stardom. There was no stardom moments in the film at all for him. I had to strip him completely bare and tell him you have to come in like a 19-year-old, and you know, you're like a softie initially, and then you get into this, and even the violence is very understated. It's not like you hit somebody and he flies in the air, you know. The violence that I've shown that happens around him is somebody's cleaning blood off their hands. Then somebody's been taken somewhere to kill somebody. And he's watching this. Somebody is attacking somebody and he's standing with folded hands. I don't think any other star hero would have said yes to that. I would have had to change all those scenes. You know, again, I'm saying, I'm not worried, but I'm saying with all due respect. They have certain reasons for why, and maybe they also know that these moments bring the audience in over the first 3 days, and the film collects a lot of money and all that. All that's fair. But Simbu didn't worry about all that. So that comfort zone is there between me and him. And I know that process of working with him while filming also will be very easy. I mean, I know you must have heard about the earlier Simbu, but with me, it's never been that. It's never been a question of him coming late to my sets or cancelling shoot. We've done 3 films together. And even on this film, we've started many days at 6 o'clock in the morning, and he was there at 4:35 in makeup and getting ready and all that. We shot this film in 55 days, actually. And a lot of these single shot sequences needed rehearsal time. And this includes that rehearsal time of 4 or 5 days for every fight sequence and a song sequence and all that. So on location, everything is single takes. Like if I ask him for a second take, I myself will wonder why I'm asking for a second take. It might be because the focus was not right or the camera didn't move correctly. And never because, you know, I didn't like what he did. So if I ask him for a second take, he'll say, brother, did I do something wrong? He'll say. So it's an understanding and it's a comfort zone that I don't want to give up easily, you know. So that's why Simbu.
Gautham sir, got some great reviews from the Tamil version. You know, people are talking about Muthu and Papa's love story, how it's a great story. At the same time, you know, like you, the Paruta Center, when you show the camera shows, it actually shows like a prison that Muthu is getting into, and the dialogue.
The analogy with trans, actually, although that story goes into you know, a completely different you know, zone, yeah. But then this is what happens also. So straight away that connect is there. Like even when we went and where we filmed, that particular house, somebody had moved from there to a bigger city, and then they were struggling there and all that. So that understanding was there. We found that it's not going to take long to convince the audience that this is what is happening these days. And we have a nice explanation as to why almost a whole bunch of people from a certain village or small town moved to Bombay and what happened and why they had to resort to violence to keep the sort of, you know, loan sharks and other predator kind of people away. And then that violence led them to being called to inflict that on other people and stuff, you know. So I think it was a very deep understanding of what happens. And Jayamon sir is a master at something like this. So there was a lot of discussion between him and me, just understanding. I would just ask him to talk. tell me more. What are these people like? What are these places like? And then we went and shot a few places and sent references to him and a few other people, you know. So there was a lot of work that went in. The only magical thing that happened was, without really spending too much time, Simbu just got into the skin of the character. His body language, he picked from somebody, I don't know what, but the way he does that and the way he walks and he picked that, and I just kept telling him that we'll have to keep doing it. He said, yeah, you just keep reminding me, and there was a certain body language through the first half of the film. And then when he reaches a certain stage, his body language changes a bit, but still, when it comes to meeting Pave, he's still in that slightly softer zone, requesting her. Even for a kiss, he asks her a certain way and all that. And I wanted to keep the romance very real. I didn't want to push it. I have done a song where there is a lip sync between the two of them. Ideally, I could have shot that without lip sync, but I just thought I'm a big fan of the musical kind of treatments for a song. So why not in a gangster film show a sort of a musical moment? You're supposed to understand it like they're talking, but the song is in the form of lyrics. It's a musical treatment. So I've pushed it here and there. I'm hoping a lot of people will get it, and I'm sure some people won't. But that's the whole beauty of this craft, right? I mean, this profession that we are in. It's to experiment as much as possible, as long as producers are happy, and throw it out there, and then take the feedback. And if it's good, it only inspires you to move on. If it's bad, I was just talking to Ravi Kishore sir, and he said, when a couple of films didn't work for me, I didn't come out for 1 month, he said, from my house, We go through that. We wonder what went wrong. But then it's not going to, completely pull us down. He's still sitting here, and I will also sit here very soon. Yeah, so.
Like many people are writing,
Yeah, but depending on the response that we get, if people love Muthu and want to see more of his journey, we have plot points in place. But finally, it's about numbers, right? It's what comes in for the producers and everything, and it's looking good as of now. By day after, I'll take a call.
నాకు కూడా పూర్తిగా తెలియదు. అంతకుముందు ట్రైలర్ వరకు చూశాను అంతే. గౌతమ్ సార్ చెప్పినట్టు అంత నమ్మి చేయాలి ఒక హీరో ఆ కథని. సో ఇందులో హీరోయిజం ఉండదు. ఈజ్ దిస్ వాట్ ఐ వాంట్ టు డూ, ఇట్స్ ఎనీ హీరోస్ కాల్. సో ఐఎమ్ నాట్ హియర్ టు సే దట్ ప్లీజ్ డూ దిస్, ఇట్ విల్ వర్క్ అండ్ ఆల్ దట్. ఇట్స్ వన్స్ intuition. And I forgot to tell one thing about the love story he wove into this. I really loved it, sir. It was wonderful, amazing, Siddhi. I really loved that part, sir. And AR sir, he gave amazing music.
Fluently in that sense. But they gave me the lines much in advance, and it was a great experience. And I also realized that there were many days when I had 3-4 hours to do my own thing, when they were not calling me for, being in front of the camera. But while I'm directing, I don't have even a second to do anything else, because my mind is completely abuzz with what's next and production and this and that and all that stuff. So I thought, okay, if I'm giving dedicated time to being an actor, it looks like I can get about 3 to 4 hours in that day to myself. And that seemed like a great opportunity. And also the money is good, sir. I needed the money, so yeah. Yeah.
the directors, they're just looking to what the actors are delivering on the monitor. But how particular are you about the frames, camera frame line?
See, it's completely set up by me, but then I need the cinematographer's vision to light and to sort of execute it. I want it done a certain way, especially with the camera work, with the frames and how the frames are and everything, where the camera moves, the staging. And I've been fortunate to work with cinematographers who up that. So it's like that with everybody. Like, I know I want Simbu to perform a certain way. He gives me 10 times more, and I'm gladly taking that. When I put the film out on the editing table, my shots are in place. So even a amateurish layman editor can put the shots together. But when Anthony does something else with that, I love it. So there are a lot of moments in this film also where I've shot the film with an edit pattern, but he will still add an edge to it, and I'm gladly taking it. So likewise with performances also. I don't minutely micromanage the actors. I don't tell them, look down, look up, don't blink so much. I get that when I go to other directors' sets. So I find it a little uncomfortable, but that's fair enough. I mean, Vetrimaran tells you not to look down. I'd rather listen to him than do my own thing. But actors, you can ask Siddhi, I never micromanage them. I give it to them, and then I expect to see what I can get, and when they deliver more, I take it. Only when it goes very away from what I have in mind, I kind of step in. With production design, with costumes, and with music also. The whole story is discussed, moments are discussed, song situations are discussed, even genres are discussed. I've never sent back a tune And even with Rahman sir, he will keep asking, are you sure, will this work? Somebody like that asking you that is tremendous, right? But I've never said no to a tune that's come my way because somewhere the first tune has always grabbed me. So I've been, I think, very fortunate to work with some really good people. Yeah.
Obviously, when you're writing, one particular character, different people might struck your mind. So by chance, have you ever thought of picking up characteristics from the characters you brought from the other films of yours?
Getting them to perform, but in terms of writing, that always happens. Like if you look at my earlier films, Kaka Kaka, which is Garshana, and then I made Veteyadu Vilayadu Raghavan with Kamal sir. So Anbuchelvan can be Raghavan after a few years, and somewhere in between Satyadev of Venay Arindal. So I've sort of managed to create a universe for myself. Not that people realized it and it's as big as the Lokesh universe, I'm saying. But somewhere within myself, I've formed a. In this film, for the first time, I've tried to touch upon a film that sort of set up my whole career, and I thought, why not have a moment to sort of suggest that there is a universe somewhere, sort of a thing. Yeah. No, that's honestly, I mean, I didn't know he was single take Raja, but it makes sense because he is like that. With him, with us, it's always a first take. There's discussion. There's very rarely a rehearsal. Rehearsal will probably be for camera movements only. And he will just give you that. That's what I said. If you ask him for a second take, either I myself will think, why am I asking for a second take? In this film, we had some single shot sequences, like an entire fight sequence of 5 minutes in a single shot. For that, we rehearsed for 5 days. But there were a lot of other factors that needed to work for that single shot. Like there was special effects in the shot itself. And, fighters and punches have to land, bottles have to break, a wall has to break and all that. So in the first 4 takes, those things didn't work. Simbu was working, but those things didn't work, which is why we had to do 5 or 6 takes for that. And then there's a song sequence between Siddhi and Simbu, where they hold hands. It's very normal how two people will meet and connect and not like straight away jump into anything crazy, So just holding hands, coming close, looking at each other, and it ends in a kiss. Now, because there was a kiss, and he was very uncomfortable, and she also was, I think, we had to do a couple of takes. Otherwise, I think it was okay. Yeah. Yes. Next year, hopefully. Yeah. So when Jaymon sir gave me the script, Pavai was she was just there, and he said, Gautham, I narrated the story to my wife. My wife said, you've given a love film director a story without any love in it. That's not fair. So then he called me and said, I'm worried because she had a good comment. Why don't you write the love story? So I set up the love story a little bit more and I kept checking with him. And I said, it's coming out a little musically, there's a song here and all that. And he was happy with it. So we didn't push it too much because I didn't want to take it away, but somewhere she is his outlet. She is that solace that he wants. Maybe through her he can get out of what he is in. It was supposed to be only that. So he makes a beeline for her. Somewhere within that grime and the underbelly and everything, he sees this woman in a sales store, in a clothes store. And I know it still comes under maybe stalking and stuff, but he's not somebody who will be violent about rejection. If she tells him, don't come after me, he will walk away. He's not going to force himself on her. So I was very sure of that. And she tells him also, see, you're following me, you're coming behind me, don't do that. It's not nice. He says, okay, I know it's not nice, but you're holding so many bags, can I carry your bag today? So we made it, something like that, very simple, but somewhere she's his hope. He thinks maybe with her he can get out, and he tries. But is he able to or not is the second half of the film, sort of thing. So, yeah.
No, we are going to work, that's what I said, we are going to work very soon. Nowadays, there's nothing like pan India. It's one film which goes all down. So we make it. This was made in Tamil, and don't say that it is just confined to Tamil. It's spreading all over.
Yeah, I think you can quote me on this. My friend, the director Vetrimaran, says pan India is a bad word.
Bad word.
Yeah.
Sounds that way.
Pardon me, ma'am?
They're getting fried in a pan with friends.
Yeah, seriously.
Any more